Coming up next on The Voice of Alabama Politics, COVID-19 by the numbers. Also, we take a look at good things behind the scenes. And the Trump campaign takes a whack at Jeff Sessions. Why is he in the race?
We're not ordinary people. We're morons.
Moron. I get it. All this and much, much more coming up next on The V. Welcome to The Voice of Alabama Politics, where we tackle the tough issues so you have the hard facts. I'm your host, Bill Britt, and today I'm joined by my wife and partner, Susan Britt. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, glad to be here.
Glad to be here once again. We're taping at our family farm outside of beautiful downtown Attala, right?
Yes, we are.
I hope that all of our viewers are at home safe with their loved ones and that you're all well. The bad news does keep rolling in. The numbers this week are up dramatically from the week before. In round numbers, we are at some 2,000 diagnosed cases. We have had at least 40 lives lost. And they're a moving target, right, Susan? These numbers are a moving target.
They are. We were at day to day for a while, but now it's hour to hour, and the numbers keep increasing and increasing. We reached some peaks this week of how many were diagnosed in a given day, and the numbers are getting to be a little frightening.
Well, they say that the best guess is that over the next 2 weeks, we will see a peak in this virus in Alabama. Hopefully the peak is not too great, but there are some sobering predictions coming out of the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation out of the University of Washington, which most everyone is using as the source for these types of
And while these numbers are scary, we're not trying to scare anybody here. We're just trying to make you aware of everything that you need to be doing to keep these numbers from getting here.
That's right. This is not to alarm, it is to inform. So they are predicting by the peak of this, Alabama could have some 303 deaths.
Right, that's around about April 19th.
April 19th. They are predicting if nothing dramatically changes, that there will be some 5,500 plus deaths by the first week of August. That's about 4 months away.
Now, and things that we've been seeing out there, you guys, I know we've all got to stay at home, okay? We've all got to keep a 6-foot distance. That doesn't mean going to the river and hanging out with your buddies. That too can spread the virus. That doesn't mean going to Sam's and congregating with 6 or 8 people to stand in line. I know I saw Oxford and Walmart. Actually, they have so many people that can go in Walmart at a time. They've actually taped off the sidewalk outside at 6-foot distances for people to be in line. Keep this in mind now.
As someone said this week, beer and the beach, or beer and
the sunshine does not cure coronavirus, okay?
No, it doesn't.
So please keep this in mind. This is the only way we're going to try to defeat these numbers.
That's right. Well, and one of the things that we're trying to do is, the people have heard this a million times, flatten the curve. And what that means is that fewer sick people at a time.
Right.
The fewer people we have sick at a time, the easier it is for the hospitals to care for those individuals. You have to remember that hospitals are not only caring for COVID-19 patients, they have the normal amount of sick people coming to the hospital, and perhaps even more. The hospitals right now are in dire need of supplies. Basically what happens every day, the hospital staff goes in, they evaluate the numbers of cases that they have, they look at what the seriousness of them, and then they look at supplies and ask, what supplies do we have? And some days over this last week or so, there have been days where hospitals have been down to single digits on masks, gloves, other supplies.
And don't forget that the hospitals are not just treating COVID patients. You've got to have the same number of heart attacks, the same number of broken bones that you have on any given day.
Right.
It's just that the COVID-19 is overwhelming all of those numbers as well.
Right. But again, the equipment is coming in, however, slowly, and there's a lot of innovations being taken
right here in the state
that are helping our state. But again, the federal government has basically said, you're kind of on your own. So Alabama's competing for supplies and resources against other states, more wealthy states, so we have to be more creative. But we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. We went and we looked at a number of states, California, New York, Connecticut, other states that put in stay-at-home orders. And basically, Susan, they're not a whole lot different than what we've got right now.
No, because non-essential services are things like gyms, bars, convention centers, entertainment venues, dine-in restaurants, okay? Those are the things that have already been closed in the state.
Right.
The things that will stay open and have to stay open are essential services like grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, food banks, convenience stores, delivery from restaurants will and are remaining open. So have banks, local government offices. Right. This is not a complete shutdown of everything that you're going to need in this crisis. Right. But it's just in these other areas we don't have to have those. Right. You can exercise at home. Right. All right. So you can cook your own meal or you can get delivery.
Right.
These are not going to be those kind of shortages, but it's just enough to keep people from getting in contact with each other.
And one of the things that people have to understand now, as more people are staying at home, is that delivery times are longer. You may have to plan ahead. This doesn't mean you have to store up on everything under the sun, but it does mean planning ahead to make sure that you don't run out of necessary items. Now, the one thing a stay-at-home order does is it does have the weight of law, so that you can actually make people do it. But good Lord, folks, we can't be so stupid as to not realize that this is a pandemic health crisis, and while those make light of it, that's fine. It's better to be cautious and live and be wrong about that it was as big a deal as it is than to be a fool and be dead or kill someone else.
Right.
I mean, that's just kind of where it is, Susan.
It is, and I want to add one more point. Please be nice to the people in the grocery stores and your delivery people. These people are working their heart out, and they're putting their lives on the line to make sure you have your essential services. Please don't be ugly to them.
All right, you're watching The V, the voice of Alabama politics. When we come back, we're going to look at some of the things going on behind the scenes.
What a great opportunity for your success. Adding 500,000 highly skilled employees to our workforce by 2025 is how we stay ahead in Alabama. Our economy is stronger than it's been in years, and a skilled workforce is more important than ever. Things move fast, so choose your path. Your success is waiting, plus a great future for Alabama. Success Plus. Go for it.
What are you doing today, babe?
I thought I'd head down to the lake with the guys, do a little fishing. Of course, none of us will be wearing our seatbelts. I'll lose control of the truck, wrap it around a tree, and kill us all.
Okay.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
The Energy Institute of Alabama promotes reliable, affordable, and clean energy to help grow our economy, create high-paying jobs, and build public support for Alabama's energy industry. The Energy Institute of Alabama is the best source of energy industry information and how it affects households across the state, from convenient energy production to alternative fuels to solar power and beyond.
the voice of Alabama politics. Susan, it seems that, every time we hear things from the government lately, it's just gloom and doom. And I know while Governor Ivey's trying to keep it positive, so has Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth and others, it just seems as if there's nothing good to talk about. There is, however, this week, we learned of a few things that are happening behind the scenes at the governor's office. These people are working tirelessly on behalf of the Alabama citizens. I know people are awfully critical all the time, and even more so when there's a crisis.
Right.
It's always easy to sit back in your barca lounger and say how you'd have done it better. But this week we learned that Governor Kay Ivey has instituted 3 groups. They're led by volunteers, former CEOs, medical professionals, military officers, and they're doing 3 things that are very important for our state. The first group, the SAT group, which is a strategic asset team.
Right.
They are tasked with finding supplies that our hospitals need. Masks, gloves, gowns,
Face shields,
ventilators, all those things are things that they are tasked. Unbelievably, in these times, there's a lot of scam artists out there, right?
There are. I think we learned from their office for about every one good offer that they get, there are 80 or 90 bad offers that are either scams or somebody trying to poach the market, which at this time is just
price gouging is not a good thing. But the SAT group, they will actually they chase down every lead. We sent them a lead the other day on hand sanitizers.
We did.
And they chase down every lead. Then the team, along with government employees, test it and look at it. If it's right, then they move directly into procurement. Governor Ivey has streamlined that process so they can make immediate purchases. It doesn't have to go through all the normal red tape. A second group led by Secretary of Commerce Greg Canfield called BAMA.
Yeah, that's Business and Manufacturing Alliance, I think it is.
And what they are looking at, Susan, I think this is really important, is businesses and groups in Alabama that can retool to do things that are, again, needed during these times.
It's like businesses that or large manufacturers that can retool to make ventilators or convert. I think they're doing now the CPAPs that can be converted.
Auburn University.
Right. Also, there's groups that are jumping in and making masks and face shields and other protective equipment.
Well, I mean, Alabama Power has partnered with the University of Alabama and UAB to make the headbands and shields that they need in the emergency room to keep them safe. And
while that's equipment they usually use for other things, again, retooling to meet the needs.
Right. And then in this case, UAB is supplying the material, but Alabama Power and their staff and the University of Alabama at Birmingham is doing the actual manufacturing free of charge.
I think they're doing the headbands about 100 a day right now.
Yeah, and the face shields too.
Face shields.
And they use existing equipment, that they repurpose it for other things.
Right.
Of course, we've got a bunch of research folks that are doing everything from molecular diagnostics to looking at vaccines. So these are very helpful things that are happening.
UAB is in the forefront of all of that too with their testing that they've been doing for weeks now.
Right.
As part of a group of, I think, 40-something facilities worldwide.
Well, and that's all good news, and things are happening quickly. Something that is of concern is the United States is about to release the greatest stimulus package in the history of the nation, some $2 trillion. Out of that, Alabama has been guaranteed $1.9 billion. Thank you, Senator Shelby and Senator Jones, for fighting for Alabama. There is a problem, though. The stipulation with that money is that cities in the state with 500,000 plus population gets X amount of dollars.
Right.
Well, we don't have any.
We don't have any.
If you combine the two largest cities, Birmingham and Montgomery, you still don't have
Have a half a million.
half a million people.
No.
So there are questions out there. Now, Greg Cochran, who is the deputy director of the Alabama League of Municipalities, is working with Treasury and the governor to sort this out. The way the bill was written, the states would get the money, and the allocation to the bigger cities would go out.
Right, but we have 463 municipalities
Right.
here that are going to need some help somehow.
Right.
And what he's working on right now is to figure out how to get around
Right.
and get that money to the municipalities.
So right now they're looking for clarification and guidelines. I mean, the estimates from what we see out there, this money comes in as a block grant of $1.9 billion. They're looking to get a 55-45 split. That means about a little over $1 billion going to the state and some 800 and some million going to municipalities. That's easy for you to say, right? Yeah. But anyway, that is one of the things that's going on. I'm sure they'll sort that out soon. One thing that's not going to be sorted out soon, we only got about a minute to go over this, is the more than 800,000 jobs. 80.
Well, the numbers are climbing so fast, who knows?
80,000 jobless claims this last week. The employment offices, or the people that take these calls, the website and all that, are overwhelmed.
Right.
You have to stay at it. I mean, there's a lot going on, but stay at it.
Keep calling, keep going to the website, and just be patient.
Be patient, and it will work out. The stimulus package does have some provisions where people should get help as soon as all the money starts flowing. That's the
It's
problem.
just going to take a little while.
It will. But everybody is working hard. We know we'd like to see them do more, but these are some good things. All right, you're watching The V, the voice of Alabama politics. When we get back, we're going to talk a little politics.
That'll be fun.
With coronavirus spreading, people at higher risk must take extra precautions. You are at higher risk if you're over 65, or if you have an underlying medical condition like heart disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, or if your immune system is compromised for any reason. If you're at higher risk, stay 6 feet or 2 arm lengths away from others. Better yet, stay home if you can. The choices you make are critical. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
Hey man, what are you doing today?
Playing the game. Thought I'd go out for a drive later maybe. Text some friends while I'm doing it. Scroll through social media. Kill a family 4 in a head-on collision.
Cool, man.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
A lot can change in 5 years. Except those smile lines you treated with Bellafill. Because that's about how long Bellafill will keep them smooth and filled. 5 years. Now you can always look your best without all those injections, appointments, and costs. Bellafill is the only dermal filler that stimulates and maintains collagen growth long term. Now time is on your side.
Welcome back to The V, the voice of Alabama politics. Susan, this week, the Alabama legislature, back last Tuesday, met. They came in, it was a very sober affair. They came in basically just to gavel in set a date certain when they would come back and gavel out so that it didn't end session.
Right. They have to do that procedurally because when they adjourned last time, they had set the date, and they have to come in and re-vote to reset the date.
Right.
They did so very cautiously. They kept their distances. Nobody was able to even hand bump or elbow bump or anything like that. They kept it very, very down the line.
Very difficult for politicians. I will say a lot of folks showed up. They had at least enough for a quorum, so I'm sat in their cars and waiting to be called in if they did. But I have to give special appreciation to Representative Steve McMillan of Gulf Shores, age 78, Joe Faust, Fairhope, 79, and Laura Hall from Huntsville area, 77. They were there, counted and present and counted for.
They would. If they didn't do this, it would cause session to expire. Now, they only have 30 some odd days within about a 100-day window to complete session as it is.
They've rescheduled it for April the 28th. Never happened.
I don't think
that's never going to happen.
I don't think
never going to happen. Senate President Pro Tem Dale Marsh said that they would hope to come in and do 2 bare bones budgets, which is the only thing they're constitutionally bound to do. Speaker Mac McCutcheon agreed with that, but also said they needed to look at what type of stimulus money, what they were going to have, because the budgets are going to be way down. Because the taxes, various things that we rely on to keep the state coffers going are just not coming in.
They're not coming in, especially, we're still doing sales tax and all that. But you got to think, with all these businesses shut down, the tax revenues are not there.
Right.
Now, don't be worried. I mean, if they do let the session run out, they can sometime in the summer or in the fall call a special session in order to address this.
Well, and again, they can come in and pass 2 bare bones budgets, but it's more likely than not that Governor Ivey will call a special session. I don't know if she gets it done this summer. We're looking more like fall. For now, big items like prison reform, that's on hold. So that's a big one that's on hold. Another one is the gaming issue is on hold. They may come back in a special session and reconsider both of those things because the Justice Department's not going to let us slide on this, but for so long.
Right. Because we're under order.
Right.
We're under order with the prisons, court order.
Right.
And it's got to get done. So they're going to at least have to address that.
And we also need to take a look at gaming revenues. I mean, we're going to be broke. Governor Ivey and lawmakers say, rightfully so, that gambling money is not a way to fund essential government services. We're going to need more than essential services going forward. So it is not outside of the realm of possibility that, if we really got a big gaming package like Speaker McCutcheon had originally asked for,
where everybody's involved.
Go big or go home, not just the Porch Creek Indian, but the racetrack owners and those people all need to be at the table. We've talked to some of the track owners. They are willing to come to the table. They say the Porch Creek are of 2 factions, and one faction would like to come to the table, and another faction does not. They think they deserve everything. I would agree with the faction that says they don't deserve everything because we're Alabamians. If not now, when? We should come together as a state, solve some of these problems without one group getting massively wealthy, while the rest of the state does without.
But we're going to have to do something.
I think the most interesting thing politically of the week is the runoff race between Jeff Sessions and Coach Tommy Tuberville. Jeff Sessions, former U.S. Senator and a Attorney General for President Donald Trump, keeps going out there, Susan, and saying that he is Donald Trump's #1 supporter.
That's fine. Donald Trump is not his #1 supporter.
No, anything but. This past week, the Trump campaign came out and wrote a letter to Sessions saying that he was delusional.
Right. Stop using Donald Trump's name.
Right.
Donald Trump does not support him.
Right. He said that they said that he's indicating that the president supports his campaign. They said nothing could be further from the truth. But like so many politicians, Sessions doesn't want to seem to accept the truth that Donald Trump Can't stand him.
No, he can't.
And
He can't. I mean, it's just a fact. Everybody knows it.
I mean, to me, again, I think Jeff Sessions was there for some 20-odd years, and a lot of people in Alabama love him. But for the sake of the state, you should get out of the race. Really? Why are you running at your age, and you already got a legacy, and you're doing it against the president's wishes? Why do it, Mr. Sessions? Why not just stand down and save Alabamians all the heartache? That's just my opinion.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's just
save us some more embarrassment.
It's time.
Again, we've
It's
got
time.
enough of that.
It's time. Well, we got a couple other races that might as well be sleeping dogs on the porch.
Well, what are they gonna do? They can't get out. They can't shake hands. They can't go to the local barbecue joint.
No. Not a whole lot going on, right?
Right, and not a lot of people are gonna pay attention to them on Facebook and stuff.
Barrymore is versing Jeff Coleman, Businessman Jeff Coleman, former Rep Barrymore. They're all down. They're running in District 2. Crickets. Same thing down in District 1 where you have Jerry Carl running against Bill Hightower. They got a little nasty there for a while, but that
kind of calmed down after all this crisis started up. Which is a good thing.
But this is not a time for political bickering. It is not a time for partisan grandstanding, but there's plenty of it.
There's plenty of it.
You go to Facebook and social media sites, and you'd think that we were in the middle of a campaign rather than a global health crisis.
Yes.
And there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of bad actors who want you to believe bad things. But here at Alabama Political Reporter, we want you to know the truth. Here at the Voice of Alabama Politics, we do the same. Before we leave, please stay safe, have courage, and have hope. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you next week.
You watch us because we watch them.